Hi, welcome to engVid.com. I'm Adam. In today's video, we're going to look at another set of phrasal verbs. Now, just as a reminder, what is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verb is a combination of a verb and a preposition, in, on, at, off, etc. And the combination usually makes other meanings than the two words themselves. Now, some phrasal verbs obviously have more than one meaning, so we're going to look at the different meanings with the verb kick. For example, kick in, kick back, kick out, kick off, kick about or kick around, kick up, and kick over. Now, some of these will have more than one meaning, some will just have the one meaning. Some of these can also be joined to make a noun, and we're going to look at that as well. So we're going to start with kick in. A few meanings to kick in. The more literal one, like takes the verb kick, means to kick with your leg. So if you kick something in, you're breaking it with your feet. So the most common example is like police. They want to go into a apartment or a house and arrest somebody. So they kick in the door. They just break the door and they go in. We can also say kick down for the same meaning. They kick down the door or they kick in the door. So physically break with your feet. Another meaning of kick is basically take effect. This is especially used when we're talking about drugs, when we're taking a pill. So the doctor gave you a pill, maybe you have a really bad headache and you take a Tylenol or an Advil or Aspirin or whatever, and it doesn't work right away. It takes a little time for the pill to kick in. So basically to take effect, to start working. So another meaning is start, but usually a process. Start a process. So now we can also use this in other situations. For example, a policy. So the government decided to increase taxes, but they don't do it suddenly, okay? Because a lot of people will not be ready for it. It'll cause a lot of problems. So they say, okay, starting in 6 months, we have a new policy where the tax will go up by 1%. So this policy will kick in on September 1st, for example, whenever that 6 months down the road is. So kick in, start, or go into effect, okay? Now, we can also use kick in to contribute. So we're going to have an office party. Janice, the accountant, has a birthday, and everybody wants to, show their appreciation for her hard work. So everybody's going to kick in $5. And we collect all this money and we create a party for Janice, okay? So kick in basically means give, contribute to a pool. So those are all the kick ins. Now, kick back. First of all, there's the literal one where you kick back, right? So to relax. So what are you doing this weekend? Oh, nothing, just kicking back. It means I'm sitting at home with my feet up on the table and I'm just relaxing, doing nothing. Another meaning of kick back is payment. Is a type of payment, but usually it means a bribe. Okay? A bribe means you're paying somebody to do something for you. The most common example that I can think of is doctors and pharmaceutical companies, the companies that make the drugs. So the doctor, all his patients come in and he says, okay, oh, you need this prescription. Here you go buy the pills. Here, you need this prescription. They don't need it. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But some doctors just prescribe medicine for everybody, for everything. Why? Because the pharmaceutical company, gives the doctor a kickback. So this can be a noun as well. A kickback or kickbacks. Okay, it's a noun. It basically means a bribe, a payment for doing them a favor. Okay, so to relax or to pay sort of underneath as a gift, as a bribe. To kick out, okay? To kick out could be physical, means you take somebody and you kick them out the door. So if you go to a club and you're not behaving very nicely, the bouncer, the big guys standing at the door, they will take you and they will kick you out. They will throw you out of the club. But it doesn't have to be physical. You could be in a band or in a team or whatever, and your teammates or your bandmates have a bit of a problem with you, means they kick you out. They expel you. Expel, we usually use this word at school. If you do something bad at school, the school will expel you. They will remove you. So they will kick you out. It's a more slang approach to it. And that's it. So basically kick out physically or kick out, remove somebody, force them to leave. Now, before I get into kick off, kick out and kick off can also mean the same thing, means to remove, but kick off, you would kick somebody off a bus or a plane or a train. So anything that you get on the bus, you get into a car, right? So anything that is on, you can get kicked off of or kicked out of. So kick off a bus, kick out of the car. So remove. So again, so kick off, basically you remove from a bus, a train, whatever. That's one meaning. That's the physical meaning. Then there's also start. To kick something off or to kick things off means to start something. So we're going to kick off this meeting with a little speech by Mr. Smith, who wants to let us know about something, an announcement. So we're going to kick it off, start. In football, the game of American football, the game begins with a kickoff. Okay, so here again we use it as a noun. A kickoff means somebody kicks the ball, it goes flying, the other guy catches it, and the game starts. So, but it basically means start. Okay. Kick about, kick around. Basically, these two mean the same thing and are used mostly in the same way, which is why I put them together. In a very informal situation, this could mean discuss. So everybody will bring some ideas to the meeting and we're just going to kick them around, kick them about, make sure everybody has their say, think about it, if it's good, if it's bad, etc. So kick around, it's informal discussion of something, of ideas usually. We can also use it to talk about just spending time a little bit aimlessly, not having any plans. So again, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm just going to kick around with some friends. I'm just going to kick about with some friends. Well, we're going to go maybe a few clubs, a few bars, just look around, see what happens. No real plans for this. Now, kick around, we can sometimes also use when we talk about, like, for example, bullying somebody. To bully, like, it literally means to kick somebody. So to be a little bit physically aggressive towards somebody. So if you're kicking somebody around, you're treating them badly. You could be physically treating them badly. It could also be verbally or mentally, emotionally, etc. More with around, less with about, but more or less the same idea. Kick up. So usually we kick up a fuss. Kick up a fuss or kick up a storm or kick up a stink. Whew, right? That's a stink. So kick up a stink, basically cause trouble. It could also mean to cause pain. So some people, they have children who do not take the word no very well. So the child says, oh, I want ice cream. No, you can't have ice cream till you have dinner. And this kid starts, ranting and raving and screaming and kicking the ground. And basically, if there's a ground and the kid starts kicking and screaming, all the dust comes up, right? So kick up a storm basically means make trouble, cause trouble. You can also kick up in terms of pain. So if I lift something heavily, my back might kick up, means it might start hurting. We also use the phrasal verb act up. Act up means give me trouble. Kick up means it'll give me a bit of pain, okay? Actually, I forgot one. Let me go back to kick back. Kick back is the same idea. Kick back could mean to resist. So for example, if I own a factory and I tell all my employees that I'm going to have to cut their hours and there's no more overtime pay. So they kick back. They resist this change or they revolt. They don't like it, so they're going to start pushing back against me, the owner of the thing. And in this case, we can also use kick back in terms of the resistance, right? So I made a new policy for the workers and there was a lot of kickback. They revolted, a lot of them quit, some of them spoke about going on strike against my new changes. Okay, so I forgot that one. And kick over is very simple. You kick something and it falls over. So basically topple. So only the one meaning, very literal, kick with your leg, make something fall over. Okay, and that's basically it for kick. I hope everybody has these clear. If you have any questions about these, please go to engvid.com. There's a forum, you can ask all the questions you have. There's also a quiz where you can practice using these phrasal verbs. And that's it. I hope you like this lesson. Please give me a like on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye.